Some child is going to be harmed today because of what he didn't do and say today.
As Pope Francis closed out a landmark summit at the Vatican, focusing only on clergy sex abuse of children, victims of such abuse say they feel ignored and let down. Instead of prayers, they want solid, concrete action to punish perpetrators and end the cover-ups by their superiors.
Any priest that has sexually assaulted or abused a child anywhere in the world is going to be removed from the priesthood. He's not going to harm another child under the pretext of being a priest and being in the Catholic Church. Is that what's happening today? No, it is not.
The second thing is to report to law enforcement first. That needs to happen across the board. It doesn't matter what country they're in.
Francis declared an all-out war on a crime he says should be erased from the face of the earth during remarks to end the 4-day conference. The global gathering of well over 100 Roman Catholic bishops was the first ever of its kind, despite decades of allegations and mistakes some say have led to a credibility crisis.
To perform very simple tasks.
Religious leaders are praising the promises made by the Pope, calling them a step forward in tackling the sex abuse scandal that has rocked their church.
We have to get home, we have to do things rightly. And I think Pope Francis left no doubt that the victims must be in the center of all our endeavors, of all our work.
I can react in a positive way. It's a step forward, but it's not the last step.
But survivors who came to Rome continue to challenge the Church's culture of silence.
Everything that they're saying are excuses. They already know which bishops have covered up abuse. They already know which bishops have abused.
Last year was one that shook the church. Every bishop in Chile offered to resign over a vast cover-up, 7 of which the Pope accepted. Then a scathing Pennsylvania grand jury report detailed decades of clerical abuse. Just days later, the Pope found himself asking for forgiveness in Ireland, a country in which the Catholic Church once had a lot of power.
And earlier this month, the Vatican expelled the United States' Theodore McCarrick for his alleged sexual abuse of minors. The former cardinal is the highest-ranking Catholic figure to be removed from the priesthood.
But it shouldn't take an exposure, a public exposure, for him to have a meeting. He should have had it a year ago or 5 years ago.